On the night of February 1, 1959, 9 experienced hikers set up camp on a remote mountain slope in the Soviet Union. By morning, all 9 were dead. Their tent had been torn open from inside. They had fled into -30-degree temperatures. In their inners, some had fractured skulls and cracked ribs, injuries so severe they were compared to a car crash. One woman was missing her tongue. And Soviet authorities? They buried the case files for 30 years. This is the Dyatlov Pass incident. And after 65 years, the world still doesn't fully agree on what killed them. January 1959. A group of 10 students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute set off on a skiing expedition through the northern Ural Mountains in Russia. They were experienced, fit, and well-equipped. Their leader was 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, a skilled hiker who had completed far harder expeditions before. Their destination was Otorten Mountains, rated Category 3 difficulty, the highest in Soviet classification. One member, Yuri Yudin, fell ill early in the journey and turned back. That decision saved his life. He was the only one who came home. On February 1st, the group made a navigational error in a blizzard and ended up on the slope of a nearby mountain Kholat Syakhl. In the Mansi language, that name means dead mountain. They decided to camp there for the night rather than push on in the storm. That night, they wrote in their diaries and took photographs. Their last known photos show them laughing, joking, setting up camp. Nothing suggested they feared what was coming. Nobody heard from them again. When the group failed to return in schedule, a search party was sent out. On February 26, they found the tent. It had been cut open from the inside, not torn by wind, not ripped by an animal. Someone inside had slashed their way out in a desperate hurry. Footprints in the snow led away from the tent, downhill toward the treeline 1.5 kilometers away. The footprints showed the group had left in socks or bare feet. No shoes, no proper clothing. Into -30-degree weather. The first 2 bodies were found at the tree line. Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonischenko. They were in their underwear. There were signs they had tried to build a fire. Their hands were burned, meaning they were alive long enough to feel the cold to try to survive. 3 more bodies were found between the tree line and the tent, including Igor Dyatlov himself, frozen mid-crawl, as if still trying to make it back. His face was turned toward the tent. The final 4 were found 2 months later, buried under 4 meters snow in a ravine nearby. And this is where the case gets deeply disturbing. Nikolai Thibault-Brignoles had severe skull fractures. Ludmila Dubinina and Semyon Zolotaryov had crushed chest cavities, ribs broken inward with a force. Investigators compared to a high-speed car crash. And Dubinina was missing her tongue, eyes, and lips. The official Soviet investigation concluded the hikers died from an unknown compelling force. That was it. The case was classified, and the world was left to theorize. Theory 1. An avalanche. For decades, this was the most accepted explanation. A sudden snow slab avalanche forced them out of the tent in a panic. The crushing injuries could be explained by snow pressure. In 2021, a Swiss research team used computer modeling to support this theory. But critics point out the slope angle was too shallow for a typical avalanche, no avalanche debris was found, and the footprints leaving the tent were calm and orderly, not panicked. Theory 2. Infrasound, the silent killer? Some researchers believe strong winds passing over the mountain created infrasound, low-frequency sound waves below human hearing. Infrasound is known to cause extreme panic, paranoia, hallucinations, and a feeling of overwhelming dread. It could explain why 9 experienced hikers fled their tent in terror with no visible external threat. Theory 3. Soviet military testing. The area was close to Soviet military testing zones. Some of the recovered clothing showed abnormal levels of radiation. Witnesses in the region reported seeing strange orange spheres in the sky that same night. Was the group caught in a secret weapons test? A shockwave experiment? A fuel air explosion? Sunwing classified that the Soviets were desperate to cover up? It would explain why the case was buried for 30 years. Theory 4. The Mansi people. Local Mansi tribes people considered Kholat Syakhl, Dead Mountain, a sacred ground. Some early investigators suspected the group had trespassed and been attacked. But this theory was quickly dismissed. The injuries didn't match the weapons, and the Mansi people fully cooperated with investigators. In 2019, Russian authorities officially reopened the case, the first time since it was sealed. After a year of investigation, they concluded avalanche. But they refused to release key evidence or allow independent investigators access. For many researchers, that answer raises more questions than it answers. 9 young people went into the mountains on a clear expedition. They were experienced. They were prepared. And something in the dead of a Soviet winter night made them tear open their tent and run for their lives into temperatures that would kill them within minutes. Whatever it was, it has never been named. What do you think happened at Dyatlov Pass? The avalanche? Military testing? Something we haven't even considered? Drop your theory in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more mysteries like this every week, you know what to do.